Hello out there. Here we are. We're planning on reviewing Tremors 4, which I got this from Amazon so we can have the movies instead of borrowing it from people, because I only had had 1 and 2, and so we borrowed 3. But here's the thing: I bought this brand new from Amazon, and there's no disc. So unfortunately, we are not going to be able to do that. However, I thought we'd still do a little intro for when we finally do get it, just saying, hey, it's coming, and this will probably be at the beginning of that video. So, but there is something I want to do. Now, if you notice, a mask friend here. That mask is a little small for him. That's actually my son's mask.
Yeah.
So, I went on Temu and got him a gift.
Peekaboo.
This is a light-up mask, and we're going to pause the video real quick so he can try it on, and well, he can tell you how he feels about that new mask. Here we are back, and like I said, it's a light-up mask. It actually changes faces, and here's the face he chose for this part of the video. So what do you think of the mask?
I like it. I'm kawaii.
Is it comfortable? Is it comfortable?
Yes.
And it doesn't show that much of your face, not as much as the the Ichigo mask did.
Yeah.
Alright, like I said, this is just like an introduction. We're going to come back when we finally have a copy of the movie that we can play, because unless I want to pay $3.99 on YouTube, which I bought the movie so I wouldn't have to pay for renting it, and it was $14. So for all, huh?
It was 15.
Oh, 15. The wife says. Now this one was actually the 4 is called Legend Begins. So this is in the past. So we'll obviously get more into that when we finally watch the movie. 5 is Bloodlines. Let's see. 6 is a Cold Day in HE double hockey sticks. I don't know how YouTube likes that word. And then the last one's called Shrieker Island. We will be reviewing all those, but like I said, right now I've got to get a hold of Amazon and try to get another copy sent to me.
I'm excited for
So to be
Shrieker Island.
continued.
Yeah.
Because Shrieker Island, Shriekers is my favorite. I forgot what they're called.
Butt blasters?
No. My favorite of the monsters. I forgot what they're
Shriekers?
Movie monsters?
Or the Graboids?
Graboids, yeah. I haven't watched any Tremors movies for a while. So.
Which I was really excited on watching this one today, because it is my favorite of all of them. But unfortunately, we are going to have to wait. You're not going to have to wait, because by the time you watch this, we've got another copy, and we might do another short little intro, but if not, even if we don't, we're about to watch it, and the rest of the video will be us talking about it.
Yeah.
So till that happens, we'll see you when we get it.
Have a nice day.
All right. Hello out there. We finally got a copy to be able to watch of Tremors 4. We're switching places at the moment because we have this couch that's a recliner too, and this side is broken and staying up.
Oh, look who came.
Oh.
Yeah.
We don't talk about Bruno.
And it's also Marie from that movie I don't know the name of.
Aristocats.
I don't know.
Back on topic though. So what'd you guys think of Tremors 4?
I didn't like it that much, but it's Tremors, so at least there was some action at the end, but it wasn't that great.
I don't have too many complaints about it. I mean, for its premise, it was pretty good.
Did you think it was better than the third one?
Yeah, just about everything's better than the third one.
I like the third though.
uh, it it doesn't have much CGI. There's so little CGI that you kind of overlook how bad it is when you first watch it, huh?
Yeah.
Did you, Tony? Did you even notice any CGI in it?
I could tell it was better than the third one, but I still like the third one because Shriekers are my favorite. So.
Yeah, they had no shriekers, no butt blasters. Um, they had a new form in this one. Uh, Too Long or Dirt Dragon as well. They refer to the all phases as this, but we're going to refer to as the baby form right out of hatching as the Dirt Dragons because it's the newest form and it's the newest name, so we'll just go with that.
Yep.
So what'd you guys think of Hiram Gummer?
He was kind of like Bert, but Bert's cooler.
He had a somewhat predictable character arc, but the actor, I thought he did great with what he was given.
Yeah, you could see where Bert Gummer came from with this guy. A lot of the sayings that Bert says later, they're a little twisted around, but you can see their originality, or not originality, but origins.
And if you didn't know, it was Bert's like great whatever grandfather. He looks just like Bert, so it's kind of obvious.
Yeah, the setting is the Old West, so it's like the founding of perfection, which actually originally it was not perfection, it was rejection. And well, considering everything that happens, no wonder it was rejected.
Yeah.
But overall, it took a little while to watch because I fell asleep like halfway in it. So.
Yeah, we had me and Doc here. We watched it last week, and well, Brat Tony here fell asleep, so me and him rewatched it this morning, so that he could know exactly everything that was going on. They had a few well-known actors in it, other than the actor who played Bert, which of course Bert you mostly know him as Bert. I don't even know his real name.
Yeah. I can't think of it either at the moment.
And it kind of hurt my eyes because before I fell asleep, we watched it on the TV, but then we got a new projector and it started hurting my eyes.
Me and Brat Tony were trying out this projection screen that we got from Temu. It's not the greatest, but for what it is, it's not bad.
Everyone that like reviews Temu, I think breaks the product before or makes it worse because from what we got from Temu, it's been good. Like I got diamond painting, and that diamond painting satisfies me.
Yeah, as far as tech goes, it's kind of hit and miss, but that was the same with Wish. But anyways, like I was saying, there's a couple of well-known actors in there. Of course, I don't know their real names either. But if you've ever watched Free Willy, it has the Native American guy from that. And he was actually a pretty fun character, wasn't he?
My favorite character from the whole movie would probably have to be the kid I forgot the name of.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. Most of the characters, you kind of forget their names, except for Hiram and Blackhand Kelly. Which, Blackhand Kelly is the other fairly well-known actor. If you've ever watched Charmed, he is the demon of fear in there.
What the heck is Charmed?
Something to watch later.
What did you think of their newest form, though, guys?
It was way worse than Shriekers.
I like how they look and, them being practical and they feel like they're actually capable of what they portray them doing in the movies. It's like the butt blasters in the last one, it feels a little far-fetched for long-term flight in that form, but short distances, maybe they could do it.
I don't think they were meant for long-term flights with the butt blasters.
I really do like that one scene with when the gun gets swallowed, and also the scene with the tractor. The other one that killed the graboid wasn't satisfying.
The one where they...
Yeah, the saw.
No, that was a really cool one. What the scene he's talking about is closer to the end. The Native American guy, he actually had been digging a flagpole for Nevada. Not Nevada. Nirvana. I can't seem to pronounce it right now. But even though this is before Nevada, there we go, actually adopted a flagpole, it gave reason for the hole to be there. It was his flagpole that he had been digging. And he took off a piece of this big saw and stuck it in the hole and was banging on it. Another character was on a telegraph line, and he was stuck there and was about to become unalived by the graboids, because they are graboids at this point. And he's like banging on it with his gun, and the one graboid came and, well, let's just say he got a splitting headache from that saw.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it just stabbed him, but then you said it split his head. How would you know?
You don't see it, but it's heavily implied.
Yeah, because they implied that it was going straight for the saw, and that it would have hit the saw, it would have done that.
Yeah, and the blood pools up on the top surface of the ground.
Yeah, I mean, even if it didn't split it in two, it definitely ended its existence.
Yeah.
But a lot of things, I mean, but with the dirt dragon form, it actually, yeah, like you were saying, it makes a lot more sense than the shriekers and the butt blasters.
Yeah.
It just, you could see how the progression of that would be. But
no, shriekers are better.
Wait till the next movies. You might like the shriekers in the next movies.
I already like them now. You think I'm not going to?
Granted, the CGI is still pretty fake in the next movies.
I mean, I've only heard the name of the 7th movie, and I want to watch it. It's literally Shrieker Island, so.
Now, Hiram Gummer, his father, put a lot of money into the silver mine, which comes into play a couple of times in the show, at least once in the show. But they have this runoff of a hot water stream, and where the runoff was where the eggs happened to be, and that's how they hatched. Which actually was a pretty interesting explanation. I mean, I don't know how the eggs survived as long as they did. Well, we don't know exactly how long they were there.
Yeah.
The Native American guy kept talking about different legends of his tribe when they lived in the area. So obviously they have been a reoccurring thing for trouble there.
Yeah, I think that like 3 or 4 eggs hatches.
Four.
Every 100 years or so, and then they just start appearing. Then they get killed, and then they process.
I think it's more of it depends on their food supply. We'll get more into that in the other movies. Why I think that.
Yeah, it's almost like they pulled a little from the Wendigo myth, and then they took something original and
I think they
crafted these stories.
Thinking about the Wendigo, they probably did some stuff like skinwalkers so they can change their shape.
Yeah. Now, as far as the valley, because this is a valley and most of the area is covered with mountains and rocks, so it's not easy for them to get out of this area. And like Doc was saying, the butt blasters, they really can't have prolonged flight, so it would be very hard for them to have gotten out of the valley and gone anywhere else. Shriekers probably could have done it, but
Yeah.
doesn't seem, as long as there's a food source, they don't seem to go far from the food. But yeah, there was a few scenes that didn't make sense though. Like first off, there was this one dude, Old Fred. They call him Old Fred because he's old. But you remember how when they found him, he was in his wagon that was ripped apart from underneath.
Yeah.
Well, later on, there's a few people on a wagon, and they're fine up there for the most part.
So I'm guessing it was probably like one of the laters, like butt blasters somehow. I'm thinking it.
There were no butt blasters in this one.
Oh, I know. I'm just thinking maybe they were underground and nobody saw them.
The butt blasters don't go underground.
Yeah, but like graboids, if they didn't do that when they were on the wagon, how?
But that was just an example of one thing that really didn't make any sense.
And you didn't even tell me they went down. He went down in the wagon.
Oh, he might have been asleep for that scene.
No. You. I was like, like showed me that scene where they were talking about old Fred, but you never told me he went out because of graboids.
I forget why he had went out. Do you remember?
No.
You said wagon.
Yeah, he was on it. He had a wagon, and they ripped through his wagon, and he was on top. And well, let's just say he was now friends with the headless horseman. Movie for another time.
Yeah. Also, another thing with deep mythologies.
Yeah, and there's so many different versions of that.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I mean, it was a really good movie. Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's few things that you could look at and be like, why did they choose to do that? Like with the little boy. If you watch the one scene, if you remember the one I'm talking about, he basically puts his hand inside the graboid.
Yeah,
Well, the tongue.
The one where wrapped around.
But when he was under the house, he had the knife.
No, not that.
Where he pretty much did that to make it look like he was in danger.
Yeah, that looked so fake. The CGI looked better, and 3 looked better than that instant right there. If that tells you how fake it looked.
It looked like they were having trouble getting the part of the graboid to actually stretch out far enough so they had to lean and then wrap it.
Yeah, they could have done without that part. Because shortly after that is how they did the final kill, or final unaliving of the graboid.
Thinking about the house scene where it fell over, he had the knife. Why didn't he just stab the tongue?
Yeah, that is a good question. What did you do with the knife after that? They're in the process of building the town. This is still early on in the creation of the town. And all they got is like tarps around, or not tarps, but cloth?
Yeah.
Bed sheets,
yeah.
Around the building. And again, this is during the telegraph age, and the telegraph starts going off, and the kid's trying to stop it, and he's in the store, and it knocks everything down, and he's kind of trapped in there because of the bed sheet, whatever it was, fabric, and he found a knife and he cut himself out, but I don't think he ever put that down.
Yeah, no, I remember he was holding it when he got bit by the tongue. And why didn't he just stab the tongue in that scene instead of forcefully letting it bite him?
Yeah, I don't know why. That is a very good question.
Well, the screenwriter probably forgot about it and didn't put it in the script.
Yeah, because they don't always record clips back to back. Or they splice them together and they forget things that were in different clips. There's a running gag that, honestly, if they had taken out, we would not have lost anything. It wasn't really that funny. At least I don't think so. The hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the camp scene was kind of boring where they just did the rocks thing again.
Well, that was a necessary scene. It was to get them to, figure out, that was everything leading up to that led them to figure out that, oh, hey, they hunt by sound.
Yeah, it's like it's more for the characters, not the audience. 'Cause
Yeah,
we know, but they don't.
Yeah, you got to take into account from the point of their POV. They wouldn't have known any of this stuff, and then they happened to be on the rock, and the dirt dragons couldn't get to them.
yeah, but they should have done something different because they did that in the first and the second movie.
They only did it once, and it was very brief. It was it was middle of the night, and they happened to be by some rocks, and they. I mean, I get what you're saying, but back then there wouldn't have been anything else for them to have gotten on to be safe.
And if the graboids are there for now, why don't you just move to a place where there's like a city or something? Because then when graboids find you, you can escape.
Well, if you remember from the movie, Hiram Gummer's grandfather put all of his money into that mine. So basically, that mine fails. Hiram Gummer is penniless. He has no money.
Yeah, but I'm thinking, why didn't he buy it when he could just leave the valley? So
But also, like the Chinese people, remember they left China and they put all their money into their store. And if they left, they would have lost everything. The Mexican dude, which actually is one of my favorite characters, he put all of his money into a ranch in the valley. If he left, he'd lose that. It's not like today where, if we lose money, it's not that big of a deal. Back then, you lost money, you were screwed. I mean, the lady put all of her money into her hotel. I mean, they would have to start from nothing. Literally, whatever they can carry, that's all they would have.
That makes sense. I didn't understand because I thought they had more money.
Now, like I said, they had that whole running gag with the hat, which, I mean, kind of was funny, but again, they could have left it out and it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But he's the Mexican dude, and they're talking about different things like this is our final stand and all that, and he's like, well, it'd be our Alamo, and the Hiram Gummer, Burt Gummer's great whatever grandfather, was like, but we lost at the Alamo, and he was like, speak for yourself. That was like one of my favorite lines, because well, Brett Tony here wouldn't have known until this movie. There was a war with between America and Mexico, and well, America lost at the Alamo. And
well, I knew that. We learned that at 17.
Yeah.
But we don't talk about that.
They beat us with the guns, but we beat them with the pen.
Yeah. So yeah, it was like they weren't. So Hiram Gummer wasn't thinking about the fact that the Mexican dude was Mexican. He was like, oh, and everybody was like, oh. Another kind of gag. It came back into play later, but the
slingshot.
Oh, the slingshot came into play. Hiram Gummer knows nothing about guns, and so he doesn't have one. And they were going off to the mine for the first time, and the little boy gave him his slingshot.
Yeah, because you were not supposed to go anywhere in the Old West without some form of protection.
Which comes into play later when they're trying to get away from the graboid, and I really don't think this would work, but it still was kind of funny that they brought it back. But he used the slingshot to slingshot a bullet into a horse's butt to make it go faster. But the wooden Native American, that comes into play. They did like an old switcheroo, and if you're paying attention, you'll notice what happens. But first, early on in the movie, the Native American guy was like, "Oh yeah, this is a statue of me," and the lady running the hotel was like, traveling salesman couldn't pay his bill and left that as payment. And then he was like, it could have been me. Well, later on, which it's kind of funny that they did, if you think about that line, when you think about it later, he almost gets eaten, but if you pay attention, you notice that the wooden Native American is gone. And then when you think of that line, it's like, well, it could have been me.
Overall, it wasn't that great of a movie. I didn't enjoy it, but they enjoyed it. So that's what most matters.
Final scene of the movie is probably one of the funniest with Hiram. Yeah. You know, where they give him that minigun thing.
Yeah, where he was shooting at the cans or bottles or.
Yeah, and right there you could see.
They were beans, cans of beans.
Yeah.
You can see Burt Gummer in his face at that point. He's so excited about the gun because it is. I'm saying you could see Burt in his face.
Well, it's always looked like
But yeah, it was like he's just like, and Bert's always obsessed with guns. And oh, there's one other funny thing that I could think of that we didn't mention. You missed with a cannon.
Well, it wasn't that great of a movie. I didn't enjoy it much.
See, he wasn't expecting the graboid to pop up right when it did, and he fired his. He doesn't have much money because, like I said, he's but he has trinkets. In order to pay Blackhand Kelly, he had these diamond cufflinks and this $20 gold piece, and he gave that to pay Blackhand Kelly for coming to try to take care of the monsters. Which they hired Blackhand Kelly before they realized, they had grown. But
yeah.
He also had a pocket watch. He sold his pocket watch, got some weapons. One of them being this giant. They called it a punt gun, but it basically was a cannon. But it looked like a giant shotgun. And Graboid popped up, he fired and missed. And the Indian was like, "You missed with a cannon!"
If you play Blocks for Tim, you've got the cannon gun. It's basically just that.
Yeah, I kind of wonder that since they kill all the graboids, I wonder if they ever opened them up and Bert tried to recover the stuff he gave to Blackhand Kelly.
You mean Hiram? I don't think he ever did. I don't know. Well, it also depends on how long before that it was, because time progression, and we don't know exactly their anatomy when it comes to leaving waste behind.
Yeah, because that would be interesting if he did do that. That would explain how they were able to afford more supplies to help.
Well, they had the mine.
Well,
all the supplies were there. They just needed people.
I'm just talking about keep going to finish some of the stuff they had there.
Well, I'm sure there was still some silver that had been mined, and it was there at the mine. Just nobody could get to it because the creatures, graboids and dirt dragons.
He could have used that just for some upfront capital to entice more people to come and help him with the mine.
I think the mine itself might have been enough, but I see what you're saying.
Yeah, because well, at least I'll give you this to come and see, and then you give them that one offer no, you can keep how much you can carry.
Yeah. They renamed the town to Perfection, and they agree to never talk about it again, which is why nobody in the future knows about it. And like I said, this is at least 100 years, if not more, before. But he's like, the first proceeds of the mine are going to go to the store to fix it up, make it an actual store, make it, the hotel. Because, he owed them a lot for helping him take care of the graboids. But also, at this point, they're his friends. He actually was a big jerk at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And then he started being nice when he gave the kid the bike.
Yeah, he had brought a bike because he'd never ridden a horse before. Well, the bike chain broke and the kid fixed it, and he's like, you know what? I don't have the money to pay you. Just keep the bike.
That's after he had pulled the fast one on him earlier about a piece of cake.
Yeah, the ginger cake.
Yeah.
I don't remember that scene.
He had told the boy to, if he'd go to his bag and get his bottle of whiskey, that he could have the last piece of ginger cake. That he.
Oh, no, I remember that scene.
Yeah, then while the kid was gone, he ate the rest of the cake. That was more just show what kind of character he had at the beginning of the movie compared to the end of the movie. And granted, I feel like it was kind of unnecessary.
Yeah.
But it's understandable why they did that. Because they wanted to show how he's going to end up changing. And like you pointed out, it was kind of all predictable what was going to happen with him. But
yeah,
it was enjoyable to see, where Burke's family line came from.
Yeah, overall, not that great of a movie. I didn't enjoy it much, but now thinking over the scenes, it was pretty good.
Now you also got to take account, I was big on westerns, as a kid. Back to the Future 3, even now, is one of my favorites of the Back to the Future movies. So I really enjoyed this one the best of all. But also, another thing to take into account, this was the first one after 3. And they leaned more back on the practical effects than they did with the CGI from the third one.
If you want even better effects, just watch Demon Slayer.
That's totally unrelated, but Demon Slayer is a great show.
Yeah, and then the movie is just so good. That animation.
Is there anything about the movie I forgot to mention about? Or any final thoughts you have for it?
nothing I can think of that you forgot. I feel like this franchise and Critters kind of parallel in a way, where it's like.
But unlike the Critters one, this one kept going, and it had one hump that could have ruined the franchise.
Well,
it got over that though.
Critters did the same thing, where they went into outer space. I mean, I understand that's technically where.
That still was better than the one before it.
Man.
At least they were doing something different with that one.
Yeah, but it felt like when they went into outer space, they were going into like alien territory.
Which, if you remember right, they started in space.
Yeah.
See, I've only done the review of the second one because that was my favorite.
Oh yeah, that's hands down the best.
Yeah, that's hands down the best one. Maybe we might do the other ones at some point, but one is probably the second best. He hasn't seen any of them yet, I don't think.
No, I've seen 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay. But, like I said, we may do a review of those. Somebody keeps trying to text me.
If you want to watch the best Tremors movie, watch 2, 1, or maybe 3 if you don't want that good of CGI.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, some people might say the next 3 movies are better.
Definitely.
They definitely do a lot of things different. Because the first 3, even 4 movies, they're pretty similar. But the other movies, they do a lot of different things. Like they're not even on the continent of America in the next one.
Overall, my favorite so far has been 1.
He's looking forward to the one that's called Shrieker Island, which is the 7th one.
Yeah, watch the other 2.
And that is the final one.
No, there's still a show we gotta watch.
I don't know if we'll do the show or not. The show, you could watch the movies and never watch the show and be fine.
It's the wifey. She probably needs help.
Anyway, anywho, Uh, anything else, guys, before we end?
Nope.
Alright.
Alright. Well, you all have fun out there while